Welcome everybody to Sam's Detailing. And today we talk about glaze, the ultimate swirl mark filler. No, seriously, so let's say you've got a lot of swirl marks on your car and you're at home, what do? Well, you have kind of got two options really. You can either machine the paintwork, which basically entails a lot of machining with a polisher, cutting, refining, finishing. It's like 3 days work, maybe 4 days. You can obviously use like a one-step polish, which kind of reduces it down to 1.5 days. But for us enthusiasts who are working on the driveway, that is so not a viable option. We can either hand the car over to someone and get them to detail it for us, or if you're like me and you like to only work on your own car, then glaze is a superb alternative. And what glaze is a filler. It's a filler polish. It basically sits on top of the swirl marks, fills in all the swirl marks, deepens that shine and gives it that awesome glow. And you can apply it by hand, and it's not hard to do. It's just like you would with a wax. It comes off really easily, and it's about 30 minutes to an hour's work tops. And it's so easy to use, and it's a great alternative to people who want to get a super wet look, get rid of their swirl marks, but don't want to have to commit to either handing the car over to a professional detailer to get it polished, or to start buying all the equipment and polishing it yourself at home in a rush outside, which isn't always ideal. So let me show you how to use glaze. It's so easy, it's so simple, you're gonna love it. Okay, so we're going to be working on this wing here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to use glaze. You only need our wax applicator, a bottle of glaze, and a microfiber to buff it off. And it's so easy to apply. Get the glaze bottle, give it a thorough shake. Don't let that happen. So you need like 3 pea-sized drops, and then just apply it onto the paintwork in straight lines. Now, a common issue I see with this is people, they don't apply it for long enough. They basically apply it to the paintwork and leave it and let it cure, which is totally the wrong way of doing it. Apply it to the paintwork until it starts to go a bit clear, because it is a polish at the end of the day. And you want to make sure you work it into the paintwork for long enough until it starts to go a bit clear. And once you see it starting to go a bit clear, it means you've worked it in. Get a microfiber and buff it off immediately. There's nothing to cure on this polish. There's no wax in it, it's just fillers. So leaving it to cure is completely pointless. And it's as easy as that. It comes off so easily, brings out that metallic flake, covers up the swirl marks, and we're left with a super clean, smooth finish. Right, so you saw me apply glaze to that wing. How long did I spend? 30 seconds, 40 seconds, if that. So easy to use, and it comes off really easily. Now, a massive issue I see when people are using glaze is they'll polish the entire car, and then they leave it and they think that's it, job's a good one. Terrible mistake to make. And let me explain to you why. When you've applied the glaze, you filled in the swirl marks, right? When you next come to wash the car, you're going to snow foam it, and you're going to hand wash the car, and you're going to attack that glaze. And you're basically going to be pulling the glaze out of the swirl marks, and the swirl marks are just going to reappear. And that's a massive issue. That means your product has lasted maybe 2 washes, if that. So what you got to do is, once you've applied the glaze, you want to apply protection on top. Now that can be wax, it can be sealant, it can be ceramic, it can be ceramic boost, it can be whatever you want it to be. As long as you apply protection on top of the glaze, you will find it lasts so much longer. Instead of 2 washes, you're going to get 12 to 13 washes out of it. And for enthusiasts, that tends to mean you'll get something like 2 to 3 months out of it, which is so much better, and means you'll get the results you want for much longer. And it means you can apply it at the beginning of summer, run through the entire summer with glaze, with the car looking super wet, super glossy, and just perfect. So remember that if you're applying glaze, put protection on top of it. Otherwise, it's not going to last as long, and sometimes that's why filler polishes get a bad rep. It's people not applying the correct protection on top of the glaze, and they end up attacking the glaze when they next come to wash the car. So the next product we're going to talk about is 3-in-1 polish, which is this one. 3-in-1 polish is, well, it's called 3-in-1 because it's 3 steps in one. It fills slightly, it cuts slightly, and it leaves a little bit of protection down, which is quite good going, seeing as doing all those 3 steps in one go. So unlike the glaze, where you apply the glaze and then you have to go back around with a protection, on this one you can do it all in one go. And this is particularly good for light colored cars. So if you've got a white car or a silver car, the cutting action and the small amount of filling really brings the silver or the white light out. It brightens up the paintwork a lot. It's much better to use glaze on darker colored cars like black, dark red, dark blues, where you can easily see the swirl marks. On the lighter colored cars, use 3-in-1 polish and make that color pop. And so basically, yeah, the application is pretty much the same. I'll show you how to do it. The only real thing you need to remember is at the end, instead of buffing it off immediately, you leave it 3 to 4 minutes for the wax in there to haze up, and then you buff it off, and then you've got that protection behind. So it's really good if you're in a rush or if you've got a light colored paintwork. So let me show you how to use this one. Okay, so using 3-in-1 polish, the concept is the same. Give the bottle a good shake. And we have 2 options here. If your paint is in particularly poor condition, you can use the polishing sponge. If your paint is in pretty decent condition, then you can use the wax applicator, which is a bit softer. Now, the paintwork on this Tesla is pretty decent, so we're going to use the wax applicator. And again, 3 pea-sized drops. And then just start applying it to the paintwork. Again, straight lines. Work it in. This one needs less working in time due to the wax. Once you're happy, we're going to leave it 3 to 4 minutes, allow that wax to haze up, and then we'll buff it off. So I'll be right back. Right, so we've let the wax haze up on this. We can do the finger swipe test. It's obviously ready to come off, and you can just see how easy it is to come off. Because it's in liquid format, it is so easy to buff off and remove. And that's it, 3 steps in one. We filled in the swirl mark slightly, we've cut it slightly, and we've put down a bit of protection for it to last a decent amount of time. And so that's it. So that is it. That is how to get rid of swirl marks or to mask swirl marks yourself at home in a couple of hours, and you don't have to worry about getting that machine polisher out. Some detailers will tell you it's not really detailing if you're just polishing and applying some wax, but you know what I say? I say that does not matter at all. Detailing is all about the connection you have with your car and what you want to do with it. If you want to spend half an hour on the car, you're still a detailer to me, and you're no less of a detailer than somebody who wants to spend 2-3 days with a machine polisher. We are all detailing enthusiasts, and we all strive for the same thing, a beautiful looking car. So remember to like and subscribe, and until then, or until the next lesson, stay safe and be well.